What is up guys, Wolfgang here. So today I want to talk about the Asus ROG Falchion. Design wise, it is a very stark contrast to my last few videos reviewing Logitech products, as it is much more of a gamer aesthetic. As you can see in the keys themselves, some keys have a very gamery font. For example, you can see on the G, I'm holding the control button just so it doesn't shut down as my computer is turned off currently. But yeah, you can see the keys, some of them have more of a gamery font and others look fine. So this keyboard has more of a gamer aggressive design, which some may like and some may not. This is more of a gamer-ish design, which depending on what you do and your style can fit it or not. In gaming, it doesn't matter as much, however, if you like it or not, as you'll rarely look at the keys, as you'll basically just be using the same keys all the time, especially in shooters, which is my kind of game. Now, as you can see at the start of the video, it comes with a keyboard cover, which is used to protect the keyboard when it's not in use. And so this will just prevent it from being damaged or reduce the amount of dust that gets into the keyboard. As well as you can use it by inverting it. You can put the keyboard inside, and well, it helps a little bit with RGB diffusion, but it needs to be a dark environment for it to be noticeable. And it raises up the keyboard just a little bit more in case you find that more comfortable. As well as it also comes with the feet over here that you can just slide out and slide back in if you want it flat or at an angle. Raises just a very little bit, but it's better than nothing. This keyboard is a 65% keyboard, which means that it does not have the numpad nor the dedicated keys, arrow keys on this side. It means that all the keys are smushed together a little bit more than usual. However, as it is a 65% and not a 60, it means you keep the full-size arrow keys, which can be very important for some people, and you also have the delete, insert, page up and page down keys. It having full-size arrow keys does mean that the right shift key is shrunk quite a bit. However, as a proud left shifter myself, I don't really mind it. So when it comes to battery life, first of all, it's charged with a USB Type-C, which you can see right here in the middle. And well, here's the power switch, and here's a magnetic slot for the USB dongle. Here's the USB dongle itself, pretty small, pretty slim, not too protruding. And as it's magnetic, it just fits in like that. That is from 100% to 80%, it is on green. Then it's blue from 80 to around 20%. I don't have the exact numbers, these are just estimations. And then it turns red when it's pretty much dying. And the lights will start flickering. That is something you can adjust in the armor crate settings, which I'll show you a bit later. And yeah, so the battery, if used constantly for everyday use, will drain much faster than my Logitech products. You can estimate, I'm estimating somewhere around a week of battery life if used constantly. However, I only use it for when I'm gaming, which means that it's used probably about an hour or two a day at most, which makes it last somewhere around a week or two before I do feel like I have to charge it. Depending on how much I use it, it'll be around a week or two. If used constantly, it might last you, I'd estimate, around 4 days with the LEDs on. Luckily it does work wired, so if it's dying on you, you can just turn it off, plug in the USB-C cable to your computer, and that way it'll be charging and you can still use the keyboard normally. Now then, for a few extras that the keyboard has, besides the light bar on the left, it also has a touch sensitive panel which has 5 inputs. So you can tap on the top, tap on the bottom, tap in the middle, and then you can also slide up and slide down. Now these keys you can remap in, or these inputs you can remap them in Armory Crate, which I'll show you right now. And other extras it has, as I mentioned, the slot for the USB dongle. And also this keyboard does come with a really nice braided USB to USB-C cable, which can be used to charge the keyboard or for data on any other device. A lot of the bonuses for this keyboard also come in the software, which is Armory Crate, in which you can change the lighting effects, lighting brightness, the keys back here. You can remap all of these if you want. You can rematch pretty much any key actually. And I'll be showing you a few other features you can do in Armory Crate right now. And when it comes to price, this keyboard is priced at $150, which is a bit on the pricey side. However, looking around in the market, you can find comparable keyboards somewhat cheaper or at the same price. So it really does depend on what you want the keyboard for and, well, your computer's ecosystem, which I'll talk about in a bit. I did want to talk a bit about some negatives that I had with this keyboard. So my first issue with this keyboard is in the USB receiver itself. Now, the receiver itself isn't bad per se. However, I do have two ROG products, which is the Falchion, the keyboard, as well as the Chakra mouse, which will be the next video I make. And unfortunately, you cannot connect both devices to a single receiver, which means that it'll occupy two spots in this case for me, as I have the mouse and the keyboard, two separate receivers, which makes it a bit annoying, especially coming from Logitech, where you compare 6 devices to a single receiver, and it's just ultra convenient to keep your USB ports unoccupied. And my next complaint I've had is also that I've had a little bit of interference. So there will be sometimes some missed inputs, wrong inputs. For example, that it'll jump for me randomly without me pressing spacebar. So it's not common, like it'll happen maybe once every week perhaps. However, it is annoying in certain circumstances. Now then, my next complaint is with the switches themselves. So the switches are, you do have the choice between browns, blues, and reds. Which very quickly, browns give more of a tactile feel and they're a bit quiet. Reds have no additional sound and no tactility. The sound that you'll hear is just the key itself hitting the frame. And then last but not least, there's the blues, which are the clicky ones that are pretty loud. Some people enjoy it. I'm not personally a fan, so I went with the red ones here. Now the issue is that these switches are not hot swappable, which means that to change out the switches yourself, you'd have to learn how to solder, buy a solder, or have someone else do it, which can be a little bit pricey, especially for something as simple as changing switches. I do believe it should be hot swappable, especially in 2022. But if you buy the right one and you're fine with it, like you already know which kind of switch you want and you don't think you'll get into the switches market, then it's totally fine. Now, luckily the keycaps are swappable quite easily, but the bottom row is non-standard, as it is a 65% keyboard, which means that you'll either have to find specific keycaps made for this keyboard, or you'll have to buy Asus keys, or just keep these that they have here. However, that can make a pretty bad mismatch, which that is annoying. For me personally, it's not a big deal, once again, as I use it for gaming, and I don't really look at my keyboard while I'm gaming, so that's fine by me, but it's worth mentioning for you guys. You might care. I just wanted to address that I am not a mechanical keyboard fan. I've grown up with chiclet style keyboards with Mac integrated keyboards, which makes me a chiclet style fan, which means that I feel like mechanical keyboards are a bit too much of too deep for a single key press, which annoys me after a while, as it kind of feels like a finger workout for me personally. I am just used to flatter keys, for example with the Logitech MX Keys Mini, which has barely any travel. And I have a video of this keyboard up here in case you want to check it out, but this is my favorite keyboard and type of keyboard as well. Now, that is not saying that mechanical keyboards are bad. I do find enjoyment in them, especially in gaming, as I feel like I have much more control. For example, it takes a lot more of a voluntary action to do something, which gives me a pretty nice feel in my opinion. But that is, once again, up to you. If you like mechanical keyboards or not, let me know in the comments. In conclusion, my thoughts on this keyboard are mostly positive. However, I do think it is best suited for someone who already has several peripherals that work in Armory Crate, as downloading another software for a single peripheral does seem a little bit silly. I also think it's ideal for someone who doesn't want a full-size keyboard as to have more mouse space. And then last but not least, if you have or you really enjoy the ROG aesthetic, then this is clearly the keyboard for you. If you want a small keyboard with neat features like the touch bar, you want the aesthetic, and you have other accessories that use Armory Crate, I do believe that this keyboard is the perfect keyboard for you. Now then, like I promised, the next video was not going to be of a Logitech product. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.